Why would anyone in their right mind bet against XRP in 2026? Everyone is shouting about moon missions and institutional adoption. The noise is deafening. But tonight, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what I'm actually worried about. Despite the surging fundamentals, despite the fact that Ripple is literally swallowing the global financial infrastructure, there is one specific chart level, one green zone between $180 and $1.90 that could change everything. If we break it, the fundamentals won't matter for a long cold season. But that's just the defensive play, because at the end of this video, I'm going to reveal the 2026 XRP rich list. We're going to find out exactly where you stand compared to the top 10%, 5%, and the elite 1% of holders in the world. Are you a survivor, or are you an architect of your own wealth? Welcome back. I am the Calm Analyst. If you want to understand why most people lose money in crypto, you don't need to look at a chart. You need to look at human psychology. Right now, as we sit in the final days of January 2026, XRP is trading in what many call a boring zone. We've seen it bounce between the $180 support and the $2.40 resistance for weeks. And this is exactly where the pretentious investor fails. Think back to the early 2000s. The most successful companies in history, Apple, Amazon, and Google, didn't just go up in a straight line. During the dot crash, thousands of investors lost everything. But here's the secret. Most of them didn't lose because they bought the wrong companies. They lost because they tried to be too clever. They tried to time the market. They sold their Amazon shares because the price stalled for 6 months. They jumped out of Apple because they thought they could buy back lower. If you had simply held those shares through the noise, through the sideways chopping, through the fear, your returns would be measured in hundreds of thousands of percent today. XRP is at that exact same crossroads. Since the massive jump in April 2025, we've been moving to the right of a straight trend line. To the untrained eye, this looks like weakness. To the calm analyst, this looks like accumulation. People get anxious because of the fluctuations moving up toward $3 and down toward $198. This sideways chopping is designed to shake out the weak hands. It is designed to make you feel like you are missing out on other shiny assets. I will be very clear with you. I remain long-term bullish as long as we hold above the $180 to $1.90 green region. This is our multi-month lateral accumulation zone. If XRP were to fall below this floor, I would be worried that the infrastructure has a short-term leak. But am I betting on that? No. Fundamentals have never looked better. The movement of money is being revolutionized as we speak. Trying to jump in and out of a position this critical is like trying to jump off a high-speed train because you think you can run faster on the tracks. You won't beat the train. You'll just get left behind. Long-term conviction is rewarded in tech, in Bitcoin, and in XRP. Where the majority of investors mess up is not their choice of asset, but their lack of patience. But don't just take my word for it. We all have our biases. And as human beings, we often see what we want to see. So what happens when we remove the human element entirely? What happens when we ask a neutral, high-level AI to look at the same data we see? One of the most dangerous traps an investor can fall into is confirmation bias. We seek out information that supports our hope, and we ignore everything else. This is why I find the latest developments in AI analysis so fascinating. When you take a neutral, high-level AI model like Grok, a system that doesn't care about moon tweets or YouTube hype, and you feed it raw global financial data, the results are staggering. A series of tests were recently conducted where Grok was asked to simulate the future of international money transfers. The prompt was simple. If you remove the legacy friction of SWIFT, the high fees of Visa, and the centralized limitations of PayPal, what is left? Grok didn't hesitate. Based on current patterns, liquidity depth, and banking partnerships in 2026, it pointed directly at Ripple and the XRP ledger. Now, does this prove XRP will always win? Absolutely not. But it demonstrates that when you remove human emotion, the data points in one consistent direction. We are living through a transformation that only happens once every few centuries. The internet has revolutionized communication, entertainment, and commerce. But at the most fundamental level, it has not yet completed its revolution of the movement of money. This is what makes XRP an asymmetric investment. Think about it. The downside is defined, but the upside is tied to the plumbing of a quadrillion-dollar global economy. If XRP solves even a fraction of the liquidity problem for international banks, we are looking at massive multiple expansion and price appreciation that the charts can't even factor in yet. I make it a point to search for the bear case every single day. If the future of XRP looked bleak, if the fundamentals were shifting, I would be the first to tell you. But the neutral analysis, the A-Idriven data continues to highlight the same thing. XRP is in the best position to capitalize on the financial system's total appending. Unless the core thesis changes, unless the world suddenly decides it wants slower and more expensive transfers, the long-term trajectory remains clear. But understanding the why is only half the battle. The real question most of you are asking is how much is enough? As the price appreciates, the door to the elite clubs is closing. Let's look at the updated 2026 XRP Rich list and see exactly how much you need to be in the top 1%. Now we reach the moment of truth. We've talked about the why and the how, but let's talk about you. In the financial world of 2026, being an XRP whale is no longer about having millions of tokens. As the price appreciation continues and more retail wallets enter the ecosystem, the bars for the elite clubs are shifting. To be in the top 10% of all XRP holders today, you need approximately 2,315 XRP. Think about that. There are over 7.5 million accounts on the ledger, but only about 750,000 people hold more than this amount. This is the entry level for serious participation in the future financial system. If you have 2,500 XRP, you are already ahead of 90% of the world's participants in this network. As we climb higher, the air gets thinner. To join the top 5%, you need roughly 8,000 XRP. Only about 376,000 individuals worldwide hold this much. To join the top 1%, this is the institutional tier. In January 2026, you need at least 48,286 XRP to be in the top 1%. Back in 2024 or 2025, reaching 50,000 XRP was a goal for many. Today, with prices stabilizing at much higher levels, that goal has become a dream for most new investors. They are being priced out. For those who have been here since the early days, the 0.1% club requires roughly 300,000 XRP. And the absolute pinnacle, the top 0.01% consists of only about 734 wallets globally, each holding at least 4 million XRP. These aren't just traders. These are the whales, the institutions, and the early architects of this space. I don't share these numbers to make you feel small. I share them so you can work backwards. If XRP reaches its full potential as the world's settlement currency, imagine being in the top 5% of that entire system. Choose a target that is achievable for you. If you are new, aim for the top 10%. That's around 2,400 XRP. If you've been accumulating, push for the top 5% at 8,000 XRP. These numbers will not stay this low forever. Every time the price jumps, the amount of XRP you can buy for $1,000 shrinks. The game is being altered by high prices as we speak. Pick your destination. Build your position with composure, because one day holding just 100 XRP might be enough to put you in the top 10%. By then, the wealth will have already been transferred. In a market fueled by emotion and noise, we thrive on data and composure. Remember, haste leads to loss, while calm analysis leads to victory. Thank you for your trust, and thank you for being part of this rational community. I am the calm analyst. Stay patient, stay rational, and as we always do, we don't wait for the future. We plan for it.